Good morning, everybody. So, I was seeing something in the news recently, and it occurred to me that not enough people talk about this. This is a really serious topic. In 2016, my wife almost died from postpartum depression. Specifically, delayed postpartum depression. I've never felt that helpless in my life. I did everything I could. She lived. We're okay now. But every once in a while, I see something about postpartum depression and how nobody talks about it. And women, you need to talk about this. You need to talk about it with each other. You need to tell every single young woman out there, hey, when you have a baby, there is a 1 in 7 chance you will have crippling postpartum depression. And you'll be embarrassed because this is supposed to be the happiest moment of your life. Everyone will tell you, oh my God, you're so, this is the thing you were designed for as a woman. You should be happier than anything else. Yeah, okay, in theory. By the way, all y'all, having a kid is hard. You're going to lose sleep. It's going to completely rearrange your life. It's a difficult thing. It's a very rewarding thing, but it is a difficult thing. And those negative emotions you feel, those are going to happen. And women, once you have had a baby, you can have postpartum depression. Or you can have delayed postpartum depression, which is what happened to my wife. And it can make you think that your family would be better off without you because you're just a dead weight around their neck. And nothing could be further from the truth. God, I don't even want to think about what my life would be without my wife in it. If my wife had succeeded in that moment, I wouldn't be even a little bit successful. I would have been so destroyed, I can't even imagine what life would be like had that attempt succeeded. So, you need to support one another about this, and you need to talk to one another about this. Postpartum depression is very real. And it happens to 1 in 7 women. Oh, it's reported to happen in 1 in 7. It's probably much higher. I don't know why. It's probably because society has told women that, once you've had a baby, you should be happier than any time you've ever been in your entire life. And yeah, you're going to have a lot of emotions. But you're also quite likely going to have this absolutely crippling wave of depression hit you, unlike anything you have ever experienced in your life. And your partner, especially if you're a typical heterosexual couple, the guy does not have a clue that this is even a thing. I didn't really know it was a thing. I mean, I'd heard about it, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how dangerous it was. It wasn't until my wife walked in and said, Paul, I've just taken a handful of pills. Like an entire bottle full of pills. And I went from a dead sleep to, okay, we're going to the hospital. Go, 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 go. And, she survived. But, in that moment, I went in the Army because of 9/11, all right? I've been in some horribly dangerous situations. Nothing made me feel as helpless as that. Person I love more than anything else in the world was in that much danger. So, y'all need to talk about this with each other. You need to make sure that your social network of supportive women, especially when, a woman is going to get pregnant, is going to have a family, is going to have children, y'all need that social network. It's super important. And postpartum depression can kill you. It's not going to just make you feel bad. It can kill you. So, educate yourself on this. Talk to each other on this. And for the love of all that is holy, If you have a female friend who is recently given birth to her child, you need to support them. Maybe they won't have postpartum depression. Maybe they'll just be super exhausted from the little screaming ball of life that they've brought home that they're trying to dedicate all of themselves to, but they're so exhausted. You know, it's a thing that happens. And that all by itself, without postpartum depression, can, you know, you need to come together around that. The community is extremely important to the raising of children. But be on the lookout for postpartum depression. And, you know, let them know that if you feel worthless and helpless and all those other things, that is nothing to be ashamed of. And it's something that you can support each other with so that tragedy doesn't strike. Because the fact that my wife is still here, if she wasn't here, I would be saying things like I would give anything to have her back. Which is also devastating for the guys, because then we have our child to deal with, you know? And we're torn to pieces because we would give anything to have our wife back, but also we have this child who we love more than anything else, and it's just this... Your emotions will never be more complicated than with your family, especially with your kids. So, self-care is important. And support for one another is important. And do not feel ashamed for feeling overwhelmed. And do not feel ashamed for having postpartum depression, because that's just a chemical imbalance, exacerbated by the fact that you're probably absolutely exhausted from all of the no sleep you're getting while this is all going on in your life. Having kids is a huge deal, folks. So take care of each other, protect one another, and do not be embarrassed by whatever weaknesses you might be having around having children. Because having children and raising children is the most important thing you will ever do in your life. You are literally creating a person, giving them the support network and all of the lessons and things that they will take with them into the world. There is nothing more important than raising children. And so if you decide to take on the task, do it well. Do your research. Build a support network. Because you have never needed a support network as much as you have. When you start having kids, you're like, oh my gosh, I relied on so many other people. My parents, my in-laws, my friends, my wife and I relied on each other constantly, but we also needed outside help. Because raising a kid is huge. So, all right. That's enough preaching for me. Y'all go have a good day and take care of each other.